Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel 100% Pure Elvis. Thank you all for returning to my channel, and if you are new to the 100% Pure Elvis channel, welcome on board and thank you for joining. I am continuing my review of Elvis Presley 1970s studio albums, and the one I'm reviewing today is a 1976 studio album, and it happened to be the first album that Elvis recorded at Graceland, and it is from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. And great image of Elvis here on the front from the previous year of 1975, I believe. Track listing on the back, and I just love everything about the back here, where it's got "Thank you for your loyalty. I sincerely hope you like my new RCA album. My best wishes, Elvis Presley." The copy that I have is on the Music on Vinyl label, and it is on gorgeous translucent blue vinyl, 180 gram heavyweight vinyl. My numbered copy is 1446. So again, for me, from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, reached number 29 in the UK album charts, but only stayed in the charts for 5 weeks. The only hit single Elvis had off this album was the beautiful Hurt. And what's my personal thinking behind why the album didn't perform that well? I'm going to go back to some other reviews that I have done recently. First one I would say is, where's the hit singles? The only one that he had off the album was Hurt. Hurt, it reached the top 40 but didn't set the charts alight. Secondly, again, 1976, Elvis's sales were in decline in the UK. Again, his fans from around the world, from the UK, en masse went to see him perform live in the United States of America, but they tended not to buy much of his recent released music. And why do I think that? I think possibly because, again, his sales were declining, and I've read a lot on later in life. The songs that he was recording were very solemn songs, very sad, some very sad songs as well. And again, you know, there was no big hitters out there. And for me, I think that's possibly where from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee struggles, and why it did struggle. But let's talk through the track listing. First of all, we have Hurt, Never Again, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, Danny Boy, The Last Farewell, For the Heart, Bitter They Are, Harder They Fall, Solitaire, Love Coming Down, I'll Never Fall in Love Again. Now, when you read them tracks out and you listen to them songs, they are all solemn songs, but they are beautiful. My favourites, as you all know, is The Last Farewell on here. It's got a very special meaning to me. Subscribers to my channel will know the reasons behind that. I absolutely adore Hurt. What a great song Elvis sings live in concert. If you haven't checked out the 1977 version of Hurt live in concert, please do. It's mesmerising. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, as you all know, was, as said, possibly the last song Elvis ever sang, which he sang at the piano, the night he passed away. I don't like Danny Boy. I have never been keen on Danny Boy. I love Coming Down, and I love Solitaire. But no, I think, again, it's a very solemn album, and again, it, compared to some of his other 1970s studio albums, I don't think it fares that well in respect of the song choices and how they come across. You know, there's better albums from the 1970s that Elvis recorded. That's not to say I do not like this album. I think it's a beautiful album, but in all of his studio albums from the 1970s, where would I put this? Again, it's a difficult choice for me because I absolutely adore three of the tracks on that album. But in the grand scheme of studio albums from the 1970s, to me, it would probably sit in the down in the bottom stages of his studio albums from the 1970s. But again, for me, I go back again to on this album, what songs did Elvis regularly sing live in concert? It's only Hurt. The only song he really sang live in concert on a consistent basis was Hurt. And again, I go back to when a new album's being released, the artist, you know, Elvis, you know, I think he could have sung more of the songs from the album to promote the album to his fans that were in front of him. And on the odd occasion, he would say, "This is from my new album," and he would say the title of the album. And again, I think that would have performed better for Elvis. But obviously, for me, I don't think Elvis worried a great deal about promoting his new releases. But again, as fans, for me, I really hope that this would have performed better for Elvis. And again, I think it struggles in respect of Elvis fans' personal favourite albums from the 70s of Elvis. If this is your personal favourite album from the 1970s, fair play, and that's your personal opinion. And please share in the comments below as to why it is your favourite album, or it is one of your favourite 1970s albums. And again, I'd love to see and read your comments below. But for me, I struggled with the album probably because of the style of the song choices being all solemn. Beautiful songs, but I would have liked some rockers in there. And but again, when I decide to place an album on from the 1970s, this is an album that I tend not to go to a great deal. When I do play from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee, I enjoy it, but it's not a go-to album for me. But again, I just wish it would have performed better in the UK charts. It did get to #1 in the US of A country charts, but over in the UK, it reached a peak of number 29 on the album charts, stayed in the album charts for 5 weeks. And the only hit single off this album was Hurt. So again, I'm just going to show you this beautiful copy that I have of from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. So it just comes in its white sleeve with the orange RCA Victor middle. And careful to get the vinyl out, because I don't like touching my vinyl, because this is not rare, but it's quite an expensive vinyl. And here we go. Look at that beautiful translucent blue vinyl here, heavyweight blue vinyl, gorgeous. Don't get the, yeah, there we go, beautiful. But again, you know, I don't want to do this album any injustice whatsoever. As an Elvis fan, I tend not to be too negative about Elvis releases, but I do feel at times some of the albums from the 1970s that are good albums that had some great tracks on, they didn't perform as well as expected. And I just wish Elvis or RCA, you know, would have done more to promote each album. What's your thoughts behind that? Do you think Elvis could have done more to promote his album releases throughout the 1970s, especially when you're live in concert and on stage. You've got all your fans there in front of you at that one specific concert. I think it's a great opportunity to even two new songs off the respected album that is being released. I personally feel, that would have pushed up the sales. It might not have, but again, please share your thoughts in the comments below on your opinions on From Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. And again, my favourites off that album has to go to Hurt, The Last Farewell, Love Coming Down, and I do love Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain and Bitter They Are, Harder They Fall. I like all the tracks on the album, but they are my personal favourites off the album. And again, go and check out the version of Hurt live in concert from 1977. Outstanding and so emotional, raw, and for me, it's just outstanding. So again, look, thank you all for returning to my channel, 100% Pure Elvis, to continue to share my thoughts on Elvis Presley 1970s studio albums. I hope you're enjoying my reviews on these 1970s albums. And where does this sit in your favourite albums from the 1970s? The next one I'm going to be doing a review on is the one that is on my easel, and it is the album Good Times. So please check out the upload as soon as you possibly can. And as I always say, please keep Elvis close to your heart. Please keep on playing his music. That's most important to me. And love to you all. Speak soon, everybody. Bye-bye.